Welcome to Dreamy Sleep Tales. Tonight, I invite you to settle into your coziest spot. Feel the gentle patter of rain against your window pane and drift with me into a world of moonlight and magic. Listen closely as the soft rhythm of raindrops mingles with the whispering winds, carrying us through the arched window of our tale into the heart of the whispering woods. Lucas pressed his forehead against the cool glass of the arched window, tracing its iron lattice with a fingertip. Outside, the autumn night was alive with 1,000 golden lights drifting lazily among amber leaves. Beyond them stretched a forest, its tall pines glistening in the silver glow of two moons that rose side by side. An event so rare, it was whispered of only in old folk tales. Each raindrop that tapped the window pane sounded like a lullaby, and Lucas felt its steady cadence calm the ache in his chest. Just days ago, he had arrived at his aunt's centuries-old cottage, boxes stacked in dusty corners, memories of home fading like morning mist. His parents had left him here in the care of his gentle Aunt Marigold, while they journeyed far away on work that could not wait. Though Aunt Marigold's smile was warm, Lucas's heart still harbored the hollow echo of loss. Yet tonight, as he watched the forest breathe beneath the double moon's light, something within him stirred with a quiet hope. The air was fragrant with pine and damp earth. A few brave leaves drifted upward, dancing on unseen currents, as if beckoning him to follow. A sudden flash of lightning framed the window in stark brilliance. For a heartbeat, Lucas imagined he saw the window's iron latch shift of its own accord. Then, as thunder rolled in the distance, the latch clicked softly, and the glass casement eased inward, inviting him out. His breath caught. The rain, gentle though it was, washed a thrill over him. With cautious curiosity, Lucas climbed onto the wide sill and stepped through the arch, as if passing into a dream. Barefoot on mossy ground, Lucas felt the cool earth beneath him. The forest welcomed him with a whisper. Leaves rustled like soft applause, and slender birch trunks gleamed silver in the moonlight. The floating golden leaves drifted around him, each trailing a faint, warm glow. Lucas reached out to touch one. The leaf pulsed like a heartbeat, and in a tiny, gentle voice, it spoke his name. Lucas, Lucas. An astonished gasp escaped him. Yet, instead of fear, he felt curiosity bloom. Following the luminous leaves, Lucas ventured deeper among the trees. Fireflies, larger than any he had seen before, flitted past, leaving sparkles that lingered in the damp air. The forest floor was carpeted in russet moss and dotted with mushrooms that glowed pale blue, lighting his path. Soon he arrived at a clearing where the air shimmered with magic. A circle of ancient oaks stood sentinel around a small pond, its surface mirror smooth. The twin moons hovered low, their reflection cradling a world that felt both like memory and dream. A gentle voice broke the hush. "Welcome, Lucas." He spun around to find an owl perched on a low branch, its feathers the color of midnight. Its eyes were deep amber lanterns, wise and kind. "I am Aurelius, keeper of night whispers," it said. "You have been chosen to wander these woods until the first light. Are you ready to listen to the dreams the world has forgotten?" Lucas swallowed, heart pounding with wonder. I think so." Aurelius inclined his head. "Then follow me." Aurelius led Lucas along a winding path lined with lanterns shaped like autumn leaves. The trees here were taller, their branches entwined overhead to form a natural cathedral. Soft chanting drifted through the air, and as Lucas turned a corner, he found himself before an enormous hollow tree trunk, its bark carved with runes that pulsed gently. "Come," said Aurelius, "into the library of forgotten dreams." Inside, Lucas's eyes widened. Endless shelves spiraled upward, filled with delicate crystal orbs, each glowing with inner light. Each orb holds a dream that someone once cherished, Aurelius explained. When a child grows too afraid or too busy, their sweetest dreams wander here, waiting to be remembered. Lucas stepped forward, mesmerized. He lifted one orb from its shelf. Through the glass, he saw himself at the seaside, running through waves with his sister, both laughing as seagulls wheeled overhead. A tender ache blossomed in his chest. I remember that day. I'd forgotten. Aurelius ruffled his feathers. Dreams have a way of healing You, Lucas, have a gift. You can help these dreams find their way back to their dreamers. If your heart is true. Before Lucas could reply, a soft sob echoed through the hall. From between the shelves emerged a shadowy fox with luminous eyes. It carried a small orb, dim and flickering. "This one is fragile," the fox murmured. "It belongs to a child who lost their courage." Lucas knelt and cradled the orb. Within, he saw a boy no older than 5, lost in a storm, fear twisting his face. Lucas closed his eyes, imagining the boy safe, his hand held by a loving parent. The orb grew steadier, its glow strengthening under Lucas's calm focus. When he opened his eyes, the orb shone bright. The shadow fox bowed gratefully and carried it away. Lucas realized in that moment how much warmth filled him, fresh and bright as the orbs themselves. Lucas followed the soft glow of lantern leaves that wound deeper into the forest. The path growing quieter as the hush of night settled around him. Aurelius and the shadow fox led the way in respectful silence, their steps light on the mossy earth. Soon, the trees parted to reveal a vast clearing, and at its center lay the Mirror Lake. Under the twin moons, the lake's surface was impossibly still, an unbroken sheet of glass reflecting the fiery hues of autumn trees and the soft radiance of moonlight. Tiny ripples pulsed outward when a single leaf drifted onto its waters. Yet in that moment, the water stilled again, as though holding its breath. Aurelius alighted on a low-hanging branch. "This is the heart of the whispering woods," he said. "Here, the waters reveal hidden truths, both of joy and of sorrow. Are you prepared, Lucas, to see what lies within your own heart?" Lucas nodded, feeling a flutter of nerves. He took a careful step to the water's edge, the cool air turning his breath to mist. He knelt and stared into the glassy depths. At first, he saw only his reflection. Golden hair swept by unseen breeze, thoughtful eyes that carried a weight no child his age should bear. Then the image shifted. He was standing on a sunlit beach, waves cresting gently. There, beside him, was his mother, her laughter bright like bells, holding his hand, toes skimming the surf. He saw his father, warm and strong, lifting him high atop his shoulders so he could chase gulls in the sky. Lucas's throat constricted with longing. Memories he had tucked away poured into his chest like a river breaking through a dam. Tears blurred his vision. The lakeside shimmered, and the scene changed. He was alone on the beach, the sky clouding over. The waves grew dark, and in the distance, he spotted a small boat listing in a storm. Panic rose, and he felt that same helplessness he had felt when his parents first left. Suddenly, the storm swallowed the boat, and the water closed over his parents in a silent wave. Lucas gasped, stepping back against a moss-covered rock. But before despair could overtake him, a warmth bloomed in his chest, a gentle, glowing ember that grew steadier with each heartbeat. He realized it was the love he carried for them, a light no storm could drown. A soft glow rippled across the lake's surface. The reflections dissolved into a swirling mist of gold and silver. From the mist emerged shimmering figures, memory spirits formed of light, each one a tender echo of a dream Lucas had forgotten he held. He reached out, and they drifted toward him like fireflies, brushing his cheeks with soft luminescence. "You have faced your grief bravely," said Aurelius's deep voice. "Now you carry the light of remembrance. This light will guide the lost dreams back to their dreamers." Lucas inhaled the crisp night air, feeling a calm stronger than he ever remembered. "I understand," he whispered, as Lucas stood by the lake. The shadow fox padded up beside him, its eyes reflecting the twin moons. "There is one final task before you may return," it said. "A spirit child has lost its way, and only a true guardian of dreams can guide it home." Aurelius tilted his head. "There is a dream trapped between sorrow and fear. You must help it pass through the memory gate." He pointed with a wing toward a slender archway woven from branches and vines, adorned with glowing leaves that fluttered like lanterns. Lucas approached the memory gate, heart steady. He could feel the gentle tug of the trapped dream, its sorrow mingling with desperate hope. Through the arch, he glimpsed a candlelit corridor lined with faded drawings and forgotten toys, a child's handprints pressed into the walls. Stepping through, Lucas found himself in a twilight realm. The corridor walls pulsed with half-remembered lullabies, and at its end sat a small figure shrouded in pale mist. The spirit child's form was delicate, no older than 6, wrapped in a cloak of silvery shadow, tears gleaming on its cheeks. Lucas crouched before it. "I'm Lucas," he said softly. "You're not alone. I'm here to help." The spirit child looked up, eyes wide with fear. I'm lost," it whispered. "I had a wonderful dream, but it slipped away. Now I can't remember how to be brave." Lucas drew a deep breath and recalled the moment by the mirror lake, when his own grief threatened to overwhelm him, and how love had shone through the pain. "Bravery isn't about never feeling afraid," he said gently. "It's about feeling the fear and choosing to follow your light anyway." He settled beside the child and shared with it a simple memory. A first day at school, hands trembling as the child took its place in class, then found a friend's smile that chased the fear away. As he spoke, the child's misty form grew warmer, its tears turning to golden light. When the story ended, the spirit child stood taller. Light bloomed around its feet, and the corridor brightened. It smiled at Lucas, voice clear and steady. "Thank you. I remember now." Together, they walked back through the corridor. At the gate, the spirit child paused, glowing softly. "I'll go home now," it said. "But I'll remember that even in darkness, there's always a friend to guide me." Lucas nodded, his heart full. The gate's branches unfolded, releasing them back to the forest floor. The leaves above shimmered as if applauding, and Aurelius flew down to perch beside Lucas. "You have done well, guardian," Aurelius said. "Your kindness has restored hope." As dawn's first light colored the eastern sky, the lantern leaves dimmed, and the forest began to hush. Lucas felt a gentle tug, as though the world itself was guiding him home. The path retraced itself to the arched window of his room, now framed by the soft rose glow of sunrise. With a final nod to Aurelius and the shadow fox, Lucas climbed back through the window. The latch clicked softly behind him, and the glass settled into place. In his hand, he discovered a single golden leaf, the first one that had whispered his name. It pulsed with warmth, a living reminder of the night's journey. Lucas placed the leaf into a small wooden box on his bedside table, his heart at peace. He lay down beneath his blanket, the gentle rhythm of real-world raindrops on the pane blending with the echo of woodland lullabies. His last sight before sleep claimed him was the twin moons, still faintly visible, watching over the forest of dreams, waiting for the next dreamer to find their way through the moonlit window. That morning, Lucas awoke to the soft trill of songbirds and the last patter of raindrops fading on the window pane. He reached across the nightstand and gingerly lifted the golden leaf from its wooden box. It was warm to the touch, still pulsing with that gentle, familiar heartbeat of light. His aunt's voice called from the hallway, "Breakfast is ready, my dear," and Lucas tucked the leaf into his pocket before slipping downstairs. Over steaming porridge and fresh honey, Aunt Marigold noticed the faint glow at the hem of his shirt. "What's that you have there?" she inquired. Lucas offered a small smile. "Just a keepsake, a leaf I found last night." He didn't mention the whispering woods, the owls, or the shadow fox. For now, the secret lived safely in his heart. All day, Lucas felt that quiet ember of courage inside him. At school, he raised his hand to answer questions he previously would have shied from. Afterward, playing soccer with new friends, he surprised himself with a bold sprint that scored the winning goal. His classmates cheered, and Lucas realized he was beginning to belong here too. That evening, as twilight draped the sky in lavender, Lucas sat by his window once more. The golden leaf lay on the sill, its glow growing stronger with each passing moment. Before his eyes, it unfurled like a miniature lantern tree, branching into a delicate filigree of veins that shimmered silver and gold. Then, softly, he heard it. A faint whisper riding on the wind. "Lucas, Lucas, come back." His heart leapt. The window's latch clicked open as before. Lucas rose, curiosity and calm determination guiding his steps. Climbing through, he felt the cool forest air wrap around him like a familiar blanket. The leaves' filaments drifted free, embedding themselves into his hair and clothing, forming a glowing aura that marked him as a true guardian of dreams. Aurelius was waiting. "You have accepted your gift," the owl said, voice full of pride. "The leaf is now part of you, and through it, the forest will call you whenever help is needed." Lucas looked down at the embedded leaf, now a gentle crown of light. "What must I do?" A soft, tinkling laughter came from the shadows. The shadow fox stepped into view. "Come," it beckoned, turning toward a narrower trail lit by floating seed pods that glowed like tiny lanterns. "There is someone waiting." Lucas followed the fox through winding groves where the trees arched and formed living tunnels. Everywhere, the golden leaf light pulsed in time with his heartbeat, illuminating the winding path. Soon, they emerged into a clearing, unlike any he'd seen before. In its center stood a massive loom woven from willow branches, its warp and weft strands spun from moonlight and autumn dew. Seated at the loom was a figure draped in silvery robes, the weaver of forgotten hopes. Her hair cascaded like a waterfall of starlight, and her eyes glowed with gentle wisdom. She hummed a haunting melody as she threaded threads of memory into tapestries that drifted like banners in an unseen breeze. Aurelius lowered his voice. "The weaver collects hopes that children have lost, dreams of becoming painters, musicians, explorers, and even simple wishes like friendship. Tonight, she weaves them back into being, but only if a guardian guides them." The weaver paused her song and looked up with a smile. "Welcome, Lucas. Sit and choose a thread." Lucas approached the loom. Hundreds of delicate threads hung before him, each shimmering with a different hue. Pale pink for first loves of art, emerald green for adventurous hearts, sapphire blue for musical dreams. And one thread caught his eye, a warm amber strand speckled with gold flecks. "This one," he whispered. "What does it hold?" The weaver's voice was soft as dew. A child named Mira once dreamed of playing the violin under moonlight, but fear of performing before others made her hide her talent away. That hope faded, and so the thread grew dim. "You must help her remember." Lucas nodded. The amber thread slid into his palm, vibrating with quiet longing. The weaver guided his hand, and the branch loom released the thread, sending it swirling upward. "Follow it," she said. "It will lead you to where Mira's hope lies waiting." The amber thread hovered ahead, weaving between trees and drifting toward a sunken grove where fireflies clustered like stars fallen to earth. Lucas stepped lightly after it, feeling the comforting glow of his golden leaf guiding him. As he entered the grove, the thread dipped low and wrapped gently around a hollow tree. Inside, he found a violin case resting on a bed of moss. The case was old and worn, its leather cracked, yet through its seams came a faint, quivering note, a single unsteady tone that spoke of long-forgotten music. Lucas knelt, opened the case, and lifted the violin. Dust motes danced in the leaf light as he ran his fingers over the polished wood. He took a deep breath and, remembering the courage he'd found by the mirror lake, drew the bow across the strings. At first, the sound was scratchy, uncertain, but as he closed his eyes and thought of Mira's brave heart, the melody blossomed, a tender, wavering song that rose and fell like gentle waves. The fireflies pulsed in time, and Lucas felt the thread of amber glow brighter, wrapping itself round his hand like a promise. When the last note faded, the grove stilled. In the hush, a soft voice spoke behind him. "You played beautifully." Lucas turned to see a girl peeking from behind a birch. Her eyes were wide, her cheeks stained with tears. "I remembered," she whispered. I can play again." The violin case glowed and lifted into the air, carrying itself back to the weaver's loom, the thread of amber bright and whole once more. Mira stepped forward, unshed tears shining. "Thank you," she breathed. Lucas smiled, feeling his heart swell with the warmth of rekindled hope. He took Mira's hand and led her out of the grove. As they walked back along the lantern-lit trail, he realized that every child's dream he restored lifted his own spirit higher, a never-ending harmony of giving and receiving light. As Lucas and Mira emerged from the glowing grove, the forest seemed to stir with anticipation. Lantern leaves drifted down from the branches above, and the fireflies gathered in swirling constellations. their lights weaving patterns in the cool night air. Ahead lay a wide glade, its center occupied by a great stone dais surrounded by wooden benches carved from fallen trunks. Perched on one of these benches were the creatures of the forest. The gentle deer, with antlers laced in starlight. The silent stag, whose breath formed misty clouds. The silver-winged bats that hung upside down like living lanterns, and even the shy moss turtles that blinked their slow ancient eyes. Each held an orb of crystal, glowing softly with the restored hopes and courage that Lucas had helped reclaim. Aurelius swept down to join them, and the weaver of forgotten hopes moved to stand beside the dais, her tapestry banner fluttering like a flag of dawn. Tonight, she began, her voice echoing like wind through chimes. We honor Lucas, who has rekindled the music of Mira's heart and guided the lost dream of another child before her. He stands among the guardians of dreams. With that, the forest fell into a hushed reverence. Lucas stepped onto the dais, the crown of golden leaf light nestled in his hair. In his hand, the single amber thread glowed bright, and in his pocket, the original golden leaf pulsed with joy. Aurelius bowed low. Lucas of the human world, you have shown kindness, courage, and a pure heart. By the light of the twin moons and the breath of the autumn wind, I bestow upon you the title of honorary guardian of forgotten dreams. At once, the crystal orbs around the glade lifted into the air, forming a glittering shower of light that rained gently down upon Lucas. Each orb sang a soft note, a lullaby of gratitude and remembrance, filling him with warmth so profound it brought tears to his eyes. The weaver stepped forward and draped a cloak over his shoulders, woven of moonbeams and autumn twilight. With this cloak, she said, you may return to your world, yet you will always remain connected to ours. Whenever a lost dream calls, your leaf light will guide you back through the moonlit window. Mira rose from the benches and came to stand beside Lucas, cradling her violin to her chest. Thank you, she said with a smile brimming with newfound confidence. Because of you, I can share my music again. Lucas placed a hand gently on her shoulder. Your music was always yours, he replied. I just helped you remember As the first rosy fingers of dawn reached the horizon, the flurry of orbs and lantern leaves began to settle. The twin moons faded from view, leaving only a single pale moon smiling across the sky. The creatures of the woods, deer, fox, owl, and more, blended back into shadowed groves and hidden burrows, their part in the night's magic complete. Aurelius led Lucas and Mira back along the path to the moonlit window. The arched frame glowed softly in the dim light, the latch already undone as if expecting them. Lucas turned to Aurelius. "Will I see you again?" The owl's amber eyes held infinite kindness. "Whenever a dream is lost, the leaf light will call you. Follow its glow, and you will find your way home." With a final nod, Lucas stepped through the window, Mira close behind. As his feet touched the polished wooden floor of his room, the world shifted. The scent of pine and dew replaced by warm candle wax and the faint perfume of Aunt Marigold's cooking. Mira paused on the other side of the window, her figure growing faint as the magic released her. She pressed her hand to the glass, smiling broadly. "Goodbye, Lucas," she called. "Thank you." "Goodbye, Mira," he whispered, and with that, she vanished in a swirl of amber light. The window clicked softly shut, and the crown of leaf light in Lucas's hair faded, leaving only the faint afterglow of its warmth. In his hand, the amber thread had transformed into a delicate silver flute, its surface etched with tiny runes. He tucked it into his pocket, a token of the music he had helped restore. Lucas awoke the next morning to golden sunlight streaming through his curtains. The rain had passed, and the world outside was bathed in crisp autumn clarity. On his pillow lay the golden leaf, now utterly still but perfectly preserved, and on his desk rested the silver flute, its surface cool beneath his fingertips. At school, Lucas found himself humming a soft melody, one that seemed to rise from deep within his heart. When his music teacher asked him to play, he produced the flute and discovered that it responded to his touch, singing the moonlit lullaby he had heard by the mirror lake. His classmates listened in awed silence as notes wove through the room like threads of golden light. After class, Lucas slipped outside and closed his eyes, taking a deep breath of the crisp air. In his pocket, he felt the gentle pulse of the golden leaf, a reminder that the forest's magic was never far. He smiled to himself, knowing that though he walked the halls of his new school and learned to make friends in the daylight world, at night, the moonlit window would open for him again whenever a dream called. That evening, Lucas sat at his window once more, this time by the soft glow of a lantern. He placed a gentle kiss on the golden leaf and whispered, "Thank you." As he drifted to sleep, the lullaby of the forest drifted across the boundary of worlds, cradling him in its gentle embrace. And so, beneath the silent watch of the moon, Lucas, guardian of forgotten dreams, slept peacefully, ready to answer the call of any heart in need, his own heart forever warmed by the light of memories remembered and dreams rekindled. And that brings us to the end of our Moonlit Window adventure. I hope Lucas's journey through the whispering woods filled your heart with warmth and wonder as it did mine. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new bedtime tale. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family who love a touch of magic in their dreams. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which part of the story was your favorite or how it made you feel. Until next time, may your nights be peaceful and your dreams bright. Sweet dreams, dear listeners. Good night.